Today, we found out that the Conor McGregor press conference has left a heap of Irish fans, thousands of Irish fans, distraught, abandoned, and left in the lurch. Well, we've got good news for you because Irish fans can get excited because this Saturday, the 8th of June in Newcastle, Dylan Tuke returns at the PFL versus Kane Mousah. Dylan, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. Never fear, Irish fans. We're gonna let you down. I will never let you down.
Dylan, I wanted to start this off. Obviously, I've said this to you off camera, but my sincere condolences to you on the passing of your mother. How are you, and I guess how has it affected you in the lead up to this fight?
Hasn't good. Um, yeah, it's just getting on with me stuff. Just sticking to my routine. I have James guiding me there and stuff. I go home and visit me ma and well me nanny and me two little sisters when I go home after this fight. So yeah, I'm kind of trying to push it to the back of my mind. I've done quite well at pushing to the back of my mind. I'm sure I'm gonna have a little breakdown after the fight. Um, but we'll deal with that as it comes. Right now, as I'm looking now, I feel great. I feel amazing. I'm happy. I'm heading down to Newcastle now in about 2 3 hours with Enzo, Lorenzo Parente, one of the up and coming lightweights on that team. Just had a big win on the weekend. Another first 30 second stoppage. He's showing off all the time. But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm happy, and it's I don't know. It's a weird one. I don't think I've really processed it yet. But I know she's with me. Like you know what I mean. I know she's sitting me on. You better go do this, boy. You know what I mean. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna go do this, boy. Don't worry. She's fucking better.
I'm conscious that I completely respect it, and I'm conscious that you want to kind of push it at the back of your mind. So I'm not going to pry or anything like that. But was there the decision to fight? Did you come close ever to deciding not to fight and to calling off it, or it would
It
be
was never even.
it'd be very understandable if you did, obviously.
It was never even a thought. Took 3 days off to go back for the funeral and stuff. James was killed with that, obviously. Um, and then that was it. Came back and got back into work. Still trained. 5 days I was at home. Still trained every day I was at home. Doing a boxing session with Emma Brennan, silver medalist in the Olympics. I'm almost sure. Uh, Boxer from East Wall. Great pro boxer. Done strength and conditioning sessions in Mind Over Matter out in Killock and trained in Life Fit in town. So I got me working and no. You know what I mean? No. I never. I'm not gonna pull out. I'm not gonna pull out. I know all this work I've done. I fucked up with the ban, obviously with Paris. So I wouldn't take this opportunity away from myself. And as well as that, I said to Mousah too, I was like, my mom wouldn't want me to pull out. Like my mom was a fighting woman. Like she was a black belt in Kempo Karate. Like she knew nothing but fighting. Like she was the reason I got into this. My nanny, for all of her great, amazing things, the one thing she never wanted was me doing MMA. She despised it. She didn't want me in it. She didn't understand it. But the one person who wanted me in it and was like, "You do it," was my mom. My mom pushed me to that. Ma always told me I'd be a world champion. My mom told me I'd be great. Um, and I know she'd be sitting there looking at me now. She was, if I was a ghost like Casper standing there, she'd be like, "You fucking better go fight that man. You promised him a knock. You better go fight him." Like, you know what I mean? And go and fight him, I will. I go and dance with him, I will.
I think it was Cage Side Press put it out. I believe it was from the PFL Europe, the Zoom media call where yourself and Kane were obviously on it, and Kane kind of paid his respects to you. It was a very lovely video where he was being quite respectful and offering his condolences. Were you surprised by that, or how did you react to that, I guess?
No, not at all. He's a lovely bloke. I love Kane. I like Kane would be one of those guys I would look up to, and he's 10 years older than me. He's been around this sport an awful long time. Look, I'm no, I'm no angel myself, in all of life. So I know exactly what it's like to try and come back from stuff and try and rebuild stuff. And he did it. It's commendable. Like, how could I hate on someone that would I'd probably go and have a joint with in the flats if I hadn't known him in my own area. If I hadn't known him in Manchester, he'd be me mate. Like, you know what I mean? Be one of those young fellas that I'd probably sit with and be like, you know what I mean? I'd probably ring him if I had a fucking issue. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but I expected that from him. I didn't expect him to, even if he did shit talk. I know that's just his bravado. Like, he's not like that. Like, you know what I mean? Kane Mousah is a genuine nice fella, like nice fella. Like, you know what I mean? And he's an Irish man as well. Like, so why am I gonna beef with another Irishman for no like you know what I mean? If we have genuine beef with you, we'll slap the shit out of you outside, like on the tick, like you know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit here having back and forths and stuff. Like it's just wasted energy. So I wasn't really surprised at taking back with it, to be honest.
What was your reaction to getting Kane as a fight? Because obviously, as you mentioned, he's been around the block a while. I know he's sitting on 2 losses at the moment, but like I remember watching him when he walked out, as you mentioned, he's an Irishman there. He walked out with the Irish flag. I think he was saying, "I'm from Drogheda," but he put on like a masterclass performance against Georgie Carcanian only a few fights ago back in Dublin. What was your reaction to getting an opponent like him?
It's like happy days. I was a bit excited, to be honest. I was like, cool, that's a nice name, like you know what I mean. And I'm all about the name, like I'm all about, and I like the scalp idea. I like having nice, stuff, like you know what I mean. So when I seen that, I was like, yeah, cool, sweet, like you know, it is always kind of the same reaction because I'm just kind of like, obviously I get nervous and stuff, and I get you know, like you know what I mean. But it was just yeah, just like because obviously I knew him, and I was like, he's got a big profile, like it's nice, like you know what I mean.
You mentioned the weed there. Where do we stand? We had you on the L Triangle a couple of months ago, where you explained, look, you got popped for weed in Paris. There was this whole hullabaloo with the commission. They were trying to take money off you, etc. How did that all unfold in the end, and where does it stand now?
Well, so what happened? What they wanted to take the win, give me a 2 year ban, and fucking take me money back off me. Right? So I was like, haha, I'm gonna retire. Okay, I was like, you know what I mean? And then they were like, all right, well, what if we ban you for 6 months and then we just leave it at that? Like, and I was like, all right, cool, no, but like, you know, like a child throwing me thing out the car. I was like, boy, you know what I mean? And then I got that ban for 6 months. They had heavy restrictions on the ban as well. They were like, I couldn't go to MMA shows. I couldn't apparently train until April or something like that. I was laughing at it. I was just like, oh my God, this is mental. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously, I trained. Obviously, I went to shows. You know what I mean? I was like, my manager, in Valencia, was like, don't post any. I was like, fuck them, they're weird. I was like, you know what I mean? So I'm good with Wade now. Like, I'm not banned. I fight this fight. I'm obviously going to get tested this week. I have weed in my system. Weed is legal in England, in the UK. I'm pretty sure that you saw it. Um, that take it anyway. You saw to take the test, so I can't smoke on weighing day and fight day. Like, kill him out, but like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't understand what the big hoo-ha is about it. Like, you know what I mean?
Are you worried at all, like that you could be going into a scenario here where it could happen again?
What? Like, why is like I couldn't see it now because like I got the same test in Dublin and passed, and I got the same test in Berlin and I passed. So I'm assuming the UK are going to be killed, and I'm assuming that Paris is just 40 steps behind just because they're the last one to the dance. They just want to be difficult. Paris were difficult all that week. Like Paris made like the commission were a joke. They were absolute assholes. They were head wreckers. Like, you know what I mean? 1 second. I have a friend trying to come in. Come on. Um, they were like they made us all get extra eye tests. So all the eye tests that we had submitted weren't good enough. They had people going getting extra brain scans and all that. Just I think it was just one of those things that like, oh, we're the last to the party, so we're gonna be as difficult as possible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was it pretty much. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be that big of an issue. I don't understand how it would be an issue. Like, if I follow the USADA guidelines and I don't smoke on weighing day and fight day, sure. I've done I've done what I was meant to do, no?
Yeah, I mean it is mad like that. They're essentially haggling you down from right, we'll ban you for a year or two. Oh wait, it'll be 6 months now. It's a bit wild.
I'm a
Um,
fucking junkie, you know what I mean? It's just weird, like, because it's like, if anything, it's hindering me. You know what I mean? If anything, it's a debt, like, it's making it like harder for me, like, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm just making the playing field a little bit more even, like, because, if it was all natural and just, like, not smoking and all, you know what I mean?
you were targeting the last time we spoke, June. So it was obviously this card you were targeting, but you did mention that you were hoping for a bit of a pay bump. Did you come to terms with PFL or how did that play out?
They tried to put me back onto 5-5. I laughed at them. I told them, look, I'm gonna retire. I kept them to retire boys again because I'm just like it was like, and I think it was us that had chatted that about my mate Dara basically saying to me like, "Oh, if I worked in Alsa for that length of time, I'd make more." So I hit them with that. I was like, "I'd make more if I worked in Alsa." I was like, "I'm not being mad or anything." I was like, for me to go through all this camp and go through all this, and then you have to remember now I'm broke again, like you know what I mean? Because I haven't fought in 6 months. Well, I don't have any money, like you know what I mean, unless I'm coaching, like you know what I mean. I have money to get by, but like as in like sitting here now, like even say I asked PFL could they book another hotel in front of me corners, like, you know what I mean, and take it out of my purse, standard practice for the UFC and any big show. No, they won't do that. They were like, you'll have to do it and book it. My ex I was like, I'm broke. Like I was like, no bother, I'll get a sorted. Got a sorted anyway. Obviously, thank you to Neil Manny and James Doolan. But like, you get what I'm saying? Like little things like that. And then I'm at 8 and 8. I got 16 grand. You know what I mean? It's in dollars. So what I'm in pound now. So what I got, what, 14 grand, 14 and a half grand. It's like it's amazing. It's not. You know what I mean? I'm just not gonna sit here in a sugarcoat and be like, oh, I'm a good little whipping boy. Like, you know what I mean? All I'll do is until I won't. You know what I mean? I'll tell it as it is. They wanted me to go back. They wanted me to go back onto 5-5. They tried to say that the contract was 2 years. The contract wasn't 2 years. So it was little things like that. And then eventually Dan Hardy did get me up and get me 8 and 8. And I think come Glasgow, I think I'll be on 14 and 14 or something like that. So Dan really pushed for me to get like something, like you know what I mean? He was like, and I say my numbers out loud because I want to set up a point with me to ask for more money. I don't want them to be sitting on the same amount of money and like sitting there thinking that they have to take what they have to take. Like we're the show, like you know what I mean? We're the commodity. We're what people come to see. We're people that come to see us fight. Nobody's coming to see an executive sit there and watch the fights. Fair enough, the promotion and all this and all the glitz and the glamour and all. But if you had no fighters, you don't have anything there. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So how can you not pay the only thing that people are actually coming to see? Like you're wanting me to sell myself, sell tickets, and do all this work and be all this. And when I come down here on fight week, I'm gonna be like a clown to the circus. Like, you know what I mean? It'll be like, hey, Dale, can you perform for us? Can you do this for us? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I've just got to sit there with a smile on my face with no teeth, being like, yeah, of course I'll do that. Like, you know what I mean? I'm the good boy. And it's kind of like, oh, at least pay me, like, at least make sure that I can go through 3 or 4 months, like, living nicely, like, you know what I mean? Living in it. Like, and I'm not saying I should be like, I should just be able to scrape by. I shouldn't be. I'm one of the most, uh, I'm one of the best fighters in Europe at my weight class. I don't think anyone would say any different. And I mean, like across the board, I mean, lightweight started in the UFC and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? I know lightweights in the UFC in the UK and Europe and all. I'd fight them, like, and they know I've had them in my gyms and stuff. Like, so why shouldn't I be paid? Not even astronomically, but a nice chunk like any other sports star, any other high level athlete does. Why is MMA that one sport where high level athletes? And I mean, if you put us against any other athletes in the whole world, a footballer, a basketballer, a tennis player, we smoke all of them. We'll do what you can do. You can't do what we can do. You know what I mean? And that goes for boxers across as well, the kickboxers, Thai boxers. It's just like the amount of work that we have to do, all the plates we have to spin. So why are we the ones that are begging for pay? Like, and you have, like, don't get me wrong, like, I know low level boxers get pretty shit money. But if you fight in a main event of boxing, you're almost set for life. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of, I don't know, I don't know. I'm like fucking 10 years deep in this. So I just thought it would have a bit more progressed in 10 years rather than when I was sitting back then. I was like, oh, well, it's like what we said, Andy. The start was 8 and 8, went up to 10 and 10, still 10 and 10. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just,
It's crazy how like it's a very unfair how little MMA fighters are paid. And yeah, it's very unfortunate that it's not in a better spot. But you know, fair play to you for standing your ground and for advocating for yourself. Um,
need more cash. You know what I mean? Need to buy the dogs nice little stuff. You know?
are you happy in PFL? I know, like you've spoken glowingly about Dan Hardy and like what he's been doing for you, and I know like from the outside looking in, it seems that they are very much invested in you. Like they know what they have in their hands when it comes to Dylan Tuke. Like you're a guy who draws eyes. You've put on some great performances in there. Are you happy overall? I know that you're not in the tournament this year, and obviously you've gone through that kind of stuff with the Paris Commission, the French Commission. But are you happy overall?
No, I love PFL. PFL are great. And it's like that team. PFL are beautiful and they look after you so well when you're there. And they look. I'm not trying to be harsh on PFL. I'm harsh on the system. You know what I mean? I'm not like shitting on any one organization. Like, don't get me wrong. I work for PFL. I'm grateful for PFL. PFL took me off of that disqualification that should have been like that fucking soccer kick. Like, you know what I mean? PFL could have left me in the dust there. I had nothing signed. I had nothing ready to go and that. Like, you know what I mean? So I love PFL. They're very nice. Greg is great to me as well. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just speaking for little kids. You know what I mean? Little young fellas that are sitting there looking, going, chomping at the bit. And I'm just like, yeah. Oh, God. Get away, like, you know what I mean? Go do something. And then maybe, like, you know what I mean? As a backup hobby, like, but it's just that thing of, like, obviously, I thought 10 years ago I was going to be in a lot better position than I am now. I'm in a great position. I love my life. If anything, I'm probably better off now than having loads and loads of money and all this because I'm a better person for it. But it's still like a little bit of money, like it's still like my mortgage. So but in saying that, in 3 fights, I'll be making what 30 to 40K a fight or 2 fights. So that's in less than a year. Dan Hardy made that happen. PFL made that happen. You know, so and as well as that, like it's, I know if I went to the UFC, they like the UFC would try and make me like be like Ian and stuff, like, you know what I mean? Just being a little sellout and being a little like token Irish man and, you know, having to act a certain way, and I'd just be a carbon copy of Connor. It just try to bring me in and rinse and repeat, like, you know, and I'd hate that. Whereas PFL let me be myself, you know what I mean? They let me course, they let me smoke joints, they let me like just act like a tick. Whereas I don't think I get too far at the UFC with that. I think they'd be kind of like, you know what I mean? But fuck it, like I'm living a dream. I am living a dream. I'm grateful. I don't care. Of all the bad shit, like of whatever this, that, and the other, I'm better off than most other people. I'm you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And then when you look at people like fucking Mark Young's what 4-0 now, 5-0 is he? 5-0. He's
Yeah,
fighting
he's
on
on a
the
great
same.
streak.
He's on better money than I was back when I was 5-0, which is great. Is that not that? At least that's something, like, you know what I mean? So it is getting better. You know, it isn't like it's fucking. Maybe I'm just being a bit
No,
bad sometimes. But you know what I mean?
it's not where it needs to be, but it's great that there are more opportunities and different opportunities available now for lads who are kind of starting off. You know, it's not just one route anymore, or a couple of routes or regional shows where you're not making any money. There is some opportunity there, and to be fair to PFL, it's great that they're providing those opportunities for guys, and long may it continue. When you look at, obviously, we'll talk a little bit about the matchup in a bit, but you're not in the tournament. However, they have a card coming up in Scotland in September, and then Leon is the finals in December. How do you see the rest of your year playing out? Obviously, taking on Kane Mousah this Saturday first.
I'll be on the Glasgow card after this one, obviously. I'd hope to get a big spot in the Glasgow card. I hear there's a returning of a certain big shot Scottish fighter for that Glasgow card. So
Stevie
it'll be
Ray.
cool. Oh, I don't know. But he's the scariest man I've ever met. Well, him and Chris Shaw, anyway. But, I'm not sure, but I'd love to get a high spot up on that. Obviously, it's Marco, close to Marco's hotel as well. Like, so I just love to be fighting with my brothers. Be my first proper fight in Glasgow, because I don't count that soccer kick thing. Like, you know what I mean? So it'd be like my first fight at home. Like, and I'd love that. Like,
Who do you think is going to win this tournament? Obviously, you've got Daniele Scatizzi, the Capella, the Spanish guy, Kazuba's still in there,
I think Connor
and
is gonna win.
Connor Hughes.
I think Connor Hughes will win. I hope he wins as well. He's such a great boy. Like, um, he's someone that do good with that money. Like, you know, and he deserves it. Put an awful lot of work in his whole life. He's a good kid. Like,
Do you look at other lads in the PFL as potential? Obviously not. You obviously look at them as potential opponents, but like, is there anyone that you're looking at that you'd like to fight?
no, I don't really look at any of them. I don't really care for any of them. That I'm not even saying in that, like, as in they don't care about me either. They don't think about doing Duke. Like, I think I'm just on the same buzz. Like, if a name comes across, I'll jump on it. But I don't even know. I don't even know who the fuck's even around, to be honest. I'd love to. I just want to go to the States. I'd love to head out to the States after this. So,
Yeah.
like, if I put on 3 nice performances this year, that'd be me 4 on the bounce. You know what I mean? I can start making some shots or calling some shit. Like,
Was there ever? I know you're. you had planned to be on this Newcastle card, but was there ever any discussion of bringing you onto the Bellator Dublin card? Obviously, like Paul Hughes signed with PFL there, but he's on the like he's making his debut under the Bellator banner. Was there any talk of bringing you would expect them to kind of bring some Dublin lads, more Dublin fighters into Three Arena?
I think I'm on Bellator in December, so if that breaks any news or whatever. But I was never asked for the Dublin cards. I'm not sure. I'd say they probably just don't want me mixing with the other crowd on the Dublin cards or whatever. Like I don't know if they think that'd be weird or whatever. But I don't know. Well, I don't really think too much into any of this. Any.
Yeah. Well, look, you're taking on Kane Mousah this Saturday. What do you expect? Like I hear Dan Hardy talking all the time about how you're a much more relaxed or cerebral and like a tactical fighter than years gone by. We've seen you, fighting on the outside, very, very tactical in your game plan in here. You've got Kane Mousah will be standing across from the cage from you, who possesses big power. He's not afraid to get in the pocket and swing with lads. What are you expecting from him?
He's super experienced. He's been around years. He's tough. He's durable. Like Kane's what 37 now. Like you know what I mean. So he's 10 years older than me. Like he's been around the block. He's done it. And he's there won't be anything that he's unfamiliar to. So I'm expecting him to come hard and come heavy. Like he's first 3 minutes, first 4 minutes, he's gonna be gunning for me head. Like they all are. Though. They all gun for me. Like and he's like 5'8", 5'7", with a reach advantage a lot longer. I don't know. You know what I mean? He's gonna come. He has to come, or else he's gonna sit and wait. So it's one or the other. So I just expect a game opponent, like yeah, that's pretty much it.
Will it be a similar? I mean, without giving too much away, obviously, will it be a similar game plan to the last few fights we've seen you in PFL, like fighting off the
They're all
outside, using your
they're all the
lateral
same
movement?
fight. That's the only fight I know. I like. I'm not like I've done that as well. Like there was glimpses of me doing that before I met James. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? As in the footwork, I've always had exceptional footwork. You go back to the amateur days or the days when I was poking Aaron McGuire and look at me footwork in that fight. You know what I mean? I've always had good footwork. Footwork is my thing that I had from a young child. I watched Frankie Edgar for years. Then as I've gotten older, I've started to watch Lomachenko and stuff. You know what I mean? So I love Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz was like idol growing up. There's old videos of me there on my page of me and mimicking Dominic Cruz. Like I look exactly like him doing the bounce shuffle and stuff like that. So that was always the game. I just had an issue of where I just wasn't being coached properly. You know what I mean? And then I obviously had a couple of technical issues where I'd leave me head on the centre line and stuff like that. I wouldn't set up my shots too well. That James was obviously fixed immensely. But James is just able to control me and basically produce that fighter the whole time. That fighter just comes out. Even in me return against, what was it? Oh, the fella down on Battle Arena anyway. The
Oh
same,
yeah.
same
Hang
fight.
on. Paragon.
Paragon. Move, crack takedown. But it was the movement and the feints. Just James going, this is you, this is how you walk, this is when you walk best. And I had glimpses of that in the Yakaba fight, but I didn't. I went to the clinch a little bit too early. Fuck me conditioning, but if I still stand by, if I hadn't fucked the whole real field, if I had been the exact same way, but I hadn't well, James even says, if I hadn't went into the clinch so early, that fight would have been grand. Because I took 8.5 minutes. If I had to just stretch that out and not made it such an extensive workout in that clincher where I was like forced to carry him, and then I eventually was like, oh my god, get off me, like you know what I mean? So like I just think I think everything's looking beautiful. Even me striking, me boxing in that fight was the best first round of my life against Kazuma. I looked fucking amazing. My boxing was crisp, my hands were beautiful, couldn't get touched. Even then when I was tired, couldn't get touched. I don't know, I'm a big fan of myself now again because I'm looking at myself putting in the right work. And for so long, I hated looking at my shit and hated that I couldn't feel. Right now, I just feel. And I know because James is saying it to me as well. He's like, fucking looking good, like, you know what I mean? I'm coming up with me and Mark Ewan doing a whole camp together, like, you know what I mean? Literally, like, how could you not feel great? How could you, like, I have this cunt trying to beacon me and he's fucking got amazing time and some of the best time I've ever seen in my life. And he's got an absolute death touch. I'm like fucking running from him on the match trying to not get buzzed by him. Like, if I can just get away from his shots, I'll be grand with anyone else, like, you know what I mean? If I can get that movement, I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm fresh. Like I have. How could I not be? You know what I'm saying? The kind of thing. I don't fight. I don't fight. I dance. You know, I don't fight. I dance. Like, and
Proven.
whenever I fight, I get fucked up. It doesn't suit me. Went down and tried to fight Ventre, buff. You know what I mean? Just head on the centre line. Them issues. Now I stand by that my head isn't on the centre line anymore, so I can do it a little bit better. But I'm not gonna find out. You know, Cameron else, the exact same thing. Forced 19, 20 seconds. What was I even doing throwing a punch in 19 seconds, 20 seconds? Look at me now. You don't see a punch come off me until maybe, what, 2.5 minutes in, because I'm reading everything. I'm letting my mind do everything. I've such a high IQ. I've such a good knowledge of the sport. I'm doing it since I'm 12. Why would I go in there and go into a barn fight with anyone? Like, when it comes down to skill, there's not an awful lot of people that can trump me on skill. And why would I not use my skill? Why would I not go to where is best for me? So, I don't do car crashes unless I'm creating them. Like,
Dylan, thank you very much for your time. I've one more question, and I promise it'll be the last one. You put a lot
I
of
don't know.
trust into James Doolan. Very, very obvious how much you love him, I would say, and
I
believe in
fucking love the
him
man.
and
Love
trust
the man.
him. By the end of 2024, what's his goal for you?
He just wants us to be his next generation. So it's not me, like. So that's what's great about James. He doesn't just care about one person, and one of us doesn't just get attention. He wants me, Mark, scratch that, let me go. He wants Mark, Sean, me, and Enzo, Cunley, and then one of our newest members that has joined that team, Gemma Old. So he wants all of us to be that next generation, especially the lightweight guys and Sean, like that bracket of them guys. He wants us to exceed and match the Ray and the Henry and the Joanne Calderwood generation, because he keeps making great generations of fighter. It was McVeigh, him, all the force thinking ninja guys, and then it was Stevie, Danny, Joanne, all to the UFC, all the best in the nation, all the best in Europe. And now he wants to do the exact same thing with us, because he says if you can't keep making it better and better and doing it, then the formula doesn't work. So we just want that for him, and I know we're going to give all that to him. And to be honest, it's just I know. I know no matter what, James was happy with me and proud of me and proud of how I turned out. And I owe everything to him. And I do love him to death. He's like the dad I never had. You know what I'm saying? And I don't say that often because it's super, you know what I mean? But he is, you know what I mean? And I think anyone who has met me since I've left and came over here has been like even, especially when I went home for my ma's funeral, obviously not good circumstances to see people, but I've seen an awful lot of people and they were all taken back by me of how much I've matured and grown up. And I can only thank him for that, not myself. Like, so, yeah, just blessed. So hopefully give him a really good year, all of us, and learn how to talk.
Well, Dylan, I can't thank you enough. Fans can tune in. Dylan Tuke versus Kane Mousah this Saturday, the 8th of June, PFL Newcastle co-main event. I'm looking forward to it. We've got a couple of other Irish interests on the card with, I think,
D. Beagley.
D. Begley, yeah, and Valentina Scatizzi, and unfortunately Franz is off it after that mad visa issue stuff, which is
Visa
crazy.
issue.
But Dylan will be there, and he'll be the star of the
Everyone,
night.
I think there's still tickets available. If not, tune into the Zone on Saturday at 5 o'clock. The pay-per-view starts. It is main evented by the great world champion Savannah Marshall. I get to be her co-main event. Oh my god, how amazing! Come tune in, watch me dance like the blacker. Yup, Elvin. Thank you so much, Andy, for having me.
Look at that company, man. Good stuff, Dylan. Appreciate the time, and we'll chat to you again soon.